We'll solve a radical equation. The equation is the square root of 1 minus x plus 1 equals the square root of 6 minus x. Now we have an equation that involves two radicals, and one of them is isolated on one side of the equal sign. So this tells us that we're ready to use the principle of squaring. Whenever we have two radicals in an equation, we always want to isolate one of them first, one of the radicals first. And that's already been done. That's just the way the equation is stated. So let's square both sides. Squaring the left-hand side, and now squaring the right-hand side. Now on the left-hand side, I'm going to use the rule for squaring a binomial to do this procedure. I will first square the square root of 1 minus x. The square root of 1 minus x squared is 1 minus x. Then I'll get 2 times the square root of 1 minus x times 1. So I'll have 2 times the square root of 1 minus x. And finally, I'll have 1 squared, which is 1. And on the right-hand side, the square root of 6 minus x squared is 6 minus x. Now let's collect like terms on the left-hand side. 1 plus 1 is 2. So I have 2 minus x plus 2 times the square root of 1 minus x, and that's equal to 6 minus x. Now I have a radical left, and I want to isolate it, and I can do that in this equation by subtracting 2 and adding x on both sides. And when I do that, on the left-hand side, I have 2 times the square root of 1 minus x. When I subtract 2 on both sides, I have 6 minus 2, or 4, and when I add x on both sides, I have the opposite of x plus x over here, or just 0. So I have 2 times the square root of 1 minus x equals 4. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And when I do that, I get the square root of 1 minus x equals 4 divided by 2, or 2. And now I need to use the principle of squaring again to eliminate the radical. And when I do that, I have the square root of 1 minus x squared equals 2 squared. The square root of 1 minus x squared is 1 minus x, and 2 squared is 4. And let's go up here. The last line we had is 1 minus x equals 4. I'm going to subtract 1 on both sides, so I'll have the opposite of x equals 3. And now I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 1 to solve for x, and I get x equals negative 3. And if we check negative 3 in the original equation, we find that it is a solution. So we say the solution is negative 3.